In the previous session of service costing, we learned how transportation of goods and hotel industry costing of their services is done. Now let us understand how IT ITeS industry does their costing of their projects to the clients. Costing of information technology and information technology enabled services. The main features of this particular industry is they are developing a product which is not tangible. We cannot see with our eyes because there is no physical appearance of this particular service, and it is highly manpower intensive industry because there is no raw material which is used. It is the intelligence of the human which is being used in rendering these services, and these services can be either used internally or it can be sold to the customer. How internally? Suppose a particular business develops a product for their own use. Like, for example, IBM develops a staffing services or HR services module for utilizing their own HR department for salary calculations, attendance, leave computations. So this is used captively. Suppose, and another example which I can say for ITES, like banking, insurance companies, where the services are being used internally for rendering certain doubts of their own employees while executing the transactions. So there is a back-end office of IT department which they clarify to their employees if they encounter any process errors during their job. So these are internal usage of this particular services. Similarly, these services can be sold to outside customers also. So then it is external usage of services, like manufacturing a software and selling it to some bank, okay, or acting as a BPO for any outside business entity. So these services can be used internally or it can be used externally. And what is the terminology which is being used in this particular industry is generally project. They identify various activities or jobs and they call each activity or job as a project, and they monitor this project to meet the client's requirement within a target time. Project costing process. Project costing process can be broadly divided into two major aspects. One is project scheduling and another one is effort estimation. Under project scheduling, the various activities are identified of the project and their timelines are assessed, and the total timeline for completing the project is estimated. In case of effort estimation, here the required manpower, whether it is direct or support service manpower, will be assessed. What will be the manpower required for each various activities as scheduled in project, and what will be the cost of this particular activities will be estimated, and the total cost of the project will be identified under effort estimation. Effort estimation is the major activity while calculating the cost of a project. See, this cost is very important, crucial, because based upon this cost, any IT ITeS industry company will quote the price of particular project to their prospective clients. So it is the major activity in IT ITeS industry. And coming to what are the various parameters in computation of total cost. So after doing this project scheduling and effort estimation, now let us see what are the various components of cost that will be involved. One is hardware and software. There may be direct or indirect. Similarly, training cost, general training and specific training to the project, and effort cost including other overheads. See, effort cost here means does not directly mean salaries. There may be other direct costs like traveling expenses to the client's place, or it may be stationery, it may be some uh, other direct costs which are directly related to the project. All that to be considered as a direct cost. It should not be taken as a overheads wherever it is clearly identifiable. And traveling cost, even traveling cost also, if it is specific to the project, then it can be allocated directly to the project. If not, it will be taken to overheads. Now here we have to identify what is the overhead absorption rate. After identifying what is direct cost and what is indirect cost, always the overhead absorption rate is calculated based upon the manpower cost of that particular project. This aspect we should remember. The overhead absorption rate is always calculated based upon the direct manpower cost involved attributable to that particular project. Now let us see one illustrative example for more better understanding. Following are the data pertaining to Infotech Private Limited for the year 2019-20. This is for the entire year 1920. Salary to software engineers 5 persons 15 lakhs per annum. Salary to project leaders total 2 persons 9 lakhs per annum. Salary to project manager, they have not mentioned any number, so we will understand it is single person, so 6 lakhs. Repairs and maintenance for the entire year 3 lakhs. Administration overheads 12 lakhs for the entire year. The company executes a project XYZ. The details of the same as follows. Project duration 6 months. The duration of the project is 6 months. One project leader and 3 software engineers were involved for the entire duration of the project, whereas project manager spends 2 months efforts during the execution of the project. Travel expenses incurred for the project 1,87,500. See, here they have mentioned very clearly travel expenses involved for the project. That means it is directly related to the project. So it is direct cost. 2 laptops were purchased at a cost of 50,000 each for use in the project, and the life of the span same is estimated to be 2 years. And prepare project cost sheet. Always summarize the data given in the problem so that it will be easy for us to work out the solution. Now, the given data I have tabulated in this fashion so that it will be easy for me to work out the cost sheet. So, salary cost I divided per person. Reason being, few of the employees have worked for this project on temporary basis. So if I know per month per person, it will be easy for me to identify what is the cost of that particular project. Then travel expenses, it is direct, and repairs and maintenance, it is overhead per annum, and administrative overhead and total cost. Now fixed cost, they have mentioned 2 laptops have been purchased for this project and the life of the laptops are 2 years. So this helps us in calculating the depreciation, and the main important aspect is project duration is 6 months. This project duration 6 months plays a important role because the cost has to be accordingly allocated. Now let me calculate what is the overhead absorption rate. In case of overhead absorption rate, we have mentioned very clearly that the overhead absorption has to be calculated based upon the direct manpower cost. So total manpower cost is 30 lakhs and overhead cost is 15 lakhs. So overhead absorption rate is 50%. Why this is important? Because whatever the direct manpower involved for any particular project, that has to be calculated, and this overhead absorption rate to be applied for the purpose of recovery of indirect cost. That is the reason this particular overhead absorption rate is calculated. Now let us calculate what is the project XYZ cost. Now it is clearly mentioned that 3 software engineers and 1 project leader worked completely on this project for 6 months. So we have already calculated what is the salary per month for all the manpower, that is software engineer, project leader and project manager. And software engineer, 3 people worked for 6 months and their salary per month per person is 25,000. So the total for this project cost is salary is 4,50,000. And salary to project leaders. Salary to project leader, though 2 project leaders are there, for this particular project only 1 project leader has worked for entire 6 months. So we are calculating 1 into 6 into 37,500, it is 2,25,000. And coming to salary to project manager, there is only 1 project manager in the system as given in the problem, and this particular project manager has worked for 2 months on this project and salary for him per month is 50,000. So his cost allocated to this particular project is 1 lakh. All these 3 are direct cost, directly attributable, identified cost. So the total manpower cost is 7,75,000. Further, it is very clearly mentioned that travel expenses which are incurred on this project is 1,87,500. So directly taken for this project. And depreciation on laptops, 2 laptops were purchased and life of the 2 laptops is 2 years and total cost of the laptop is 1 lakh. So for 6 months, this duration of this project is 6 months. So for 6 months, the depreciation is 25,000 rupees and this is attributed to this particular project. And coming to overhead to be absorbed on this project, we have calculated what is the absorption rate. It is 50% on total manpower cost. What is the total manpower cost attributable to, on this project is 7,75,000. On this 50% is 3,87,500. So if I add all these cost, I will get total cost of XYZ project. So 7,75,000, 1,87,500, 25,000 and 3,87,500. These 4 elements of cost which totals to 13,75,000 is the total cost of this particular project. On this, as per the management's policy, whether it may be 15%, 20%, 30%, they will add margin and quote the price to their client that this will be the total price of your product, and based on then they will monitor this particular cost and they see that they will achieve this particular profit. Hope you understand this costing of IT ITeS industry, how the manpower cost is identified and how overheads is allocated to on the basis of manpower cost. This is the important aspect with respect to this particular industry. Keep watching my YouTube channel for further educational videos. Thank you.